question that I'll ask all of our filmmakers, which is, how did this begin for you? Where did this journey start?
I think pregnancy.
Okay.
I had a baby. I gained a little weight, and then I saw in real time how differently you're treated. Yeah, it's sometimes when you have a privilege, you don't even know you have it until you lose it. So I wanted to, make something that, tackled the subject of unrealistic beauty standards in our society. Yeah.
Okay, and how your lead actress did a lot of heavy lifting. She's almost in every shot of this entire thing. So
I know.
What was
She's
it
brilliant.
like? What was your working relationship with her?
I love her. When I watch her on film, I'm just captivated by everything she does. She was a ballet dancer, and this was like her first real project as an actress.
Wow. Okay.
And
Shocking.
she's some kind of prodigy. I don't know. She like made a deal with the devil, but she's a genius. And every little thing she does, everything I asked her to do, she'd give me different takes. And yeah, she was just amazing, and I feel really close to her all the time.
Okay, and as the producer, can I ask, how did you guys collaborate on this project together? How did the collaborative relationship begin?
Oh my.
Oh, I've known Amy for years. We went to grad school together. We're both in the screenwriting program at AFI, and I was looking to transition to producing. She came to me with a script. There had been all this, talk about the semi blue tide, whatever they're called, the weight loss
Ozempic
drops.
crast.
Yes, that was kind of like the chatter, and I know how to recognize a good topical story. and I loved Amy, her tone with her writing and everything. I knew she could pull it off. So, and then how we collaborated, I mean, I don't know. I think it was pretty easy. You sent me drafts. I was like, here's what I think. You were like, yes, no.
Like Liska is like our actress. Everything she gave me was helpful, and just her notes are brilliant. She should be so rich right now. She's on her way. So invaluable. I just couldn't have done anything without you. We actually wrote together as co-writers on a project a couple of years ago, so that's kind of how I knew that she was good.
We had a good,
we had a good rapport,
together. Yeah.
And it was pretty smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's supposed to be, because this is like my first real project.
Right.
So,
it can get exciting.
So as your first project as a director?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I've been a writer for a while, but as a
see.
director.
Okay, and so what did you have to learn about the directing process in order to do this?
I think, I think non-redundancy visually in a shot. In writing, it's kind of the same way. Like, you don't want to be seeing the same thing you're hearing. But I had to learn how to reframe everything in my head for visuals. And, I had to learn a lot about storytelling and writing that I didn't know before, because it just doesn't translate in the same way. Yeah, so I had to learn that. I was pretty experienced working with actors. That wasn't the problem, because I used to direct theater. So I knew how to work with actors completely fine. But working with the cinematographer and, that give and take rhythm that you have, I'm still learning. I'll probably learn forever.
That's great to hear. And in terms of the producing, when we see the final product, everything's polished, everything looks good, it looks like success. But all the producers know that behind the scenes there's some kind of catastrophe or nightmare. Was there a worst day that you experienced through this process, or?
Honestly, Amy was right. It was a pretty smooth project. The worst, I guess, was when we lost our lead actor 3 days before production, 4 days.
That would be a pretty big roadblock.
So I just called up everyone I knew and I was like, does anyone know an actor who's good and fits this, description? And my friend Pinchon connected us with Ben's, and he's amazing, and I think worked out for the best.
It really worked out for the best, but in the moment I was pulling my hair out, for sure.
Of course. And what movies inspired the horror thriller tone?
For me, I loved Fresh. Have you seen Fresh with Sebastian Stan?
No, I
And
haven't yet.
what is
no.
her name? Brunette girl that looks like everybody. I forget.
Oh, Dave. I mean,
Daisy
that's
Daisy
not,
Edgar Jones!
That's not what triggered me to know her name, but it's Daisy Edgar Jones. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, anyway, it's about this man serial killer who loves to eat people and
Okay.
sell women's meat.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, so just that kind of inspired me. The movie Relic,
Okay.
I don't know, bunch of indie horror movies where, you know, you can, they build atmosphere without a lot of money. And I'm a big, like, dialogue horror, so, like, Aaron Sorkin, Tina Fey, you know, like, something, I love, like, witty, sharp, fast dialogue, so that kind of stayed with me, even in the horror genre, I
Okay.
hope.
Great. And can I ask, how did you learn about this subject, or how did this subject come to you in that, I guess, wanting to send the message of the dangers of these drugs specifically?
That is such a great question. It's really complicated because I respect these drugs.
Mhm.
You know, I think they're life-changing for a lot of people.
Mhm.
However, they're being abused, they're being used for the wrong reasons, and they're being used by people who are just torturing themselves, that shouldn't be putting themselves through this to reach this unattainable beauty standard. So it's really, like, I'm fascinated by a subject when I don't know the answer myself. And I don't know which side of the thematic coin I land on, really, about this. I'm for some parts of this drug and against other parts. Yeah, but I just was fascinated by the subject of, you know, the body positivity was all the rage, and I'm embracing it, I want to embrace it, but then immediately when
A miracle
fix,
cure.
a miracle cure comes into existence, bam, we lose all of our plus size icons overnight.
Mhm.
And so I'm just shocked by almost hypocrisy, even though I understand it, I get it. You know, I would want to be on these drugs, you know, I get it. But yeah, so I guess just the fascination with the rationalizations that people tell themselves just led me down the research rabbit hole, and yeah, podcasts.
I think
Liska?
if I could just add, like, what
Absolutely.
when we started talking about it, I don't think either one of us wanted to be, like, necessarily negative towards these drugs, but
Right.
there's, like, an inherent humor, I think, to, like, the idea of taking this thing and totally changing your body, and the logical extension, of course, is carnivore, but
Obviously.
but I did, what I particularly liked about Amy's script was that rapport when she's up on, when the shot is kind of looking down at her from the cabinet, and she's kind of going off about all the things that have gone wrong, or like that have led her to this point, I should say, and so I just liked that it was this opportunity to, I don't know, put out into the universe to talk about all the crazy contradictions we subject women to. I mean, not just women. Obviously, this movie happens to be about mostly women, but so it just seemed like a place to have fun with it, but also have it be meaningful to some. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that message. It was actually enlightening. I didn't know about this subject. So,
Oh my gosh.
any brave members of our audience who will raise a hand for a question? Any questions? There you go. Thank you.
I saw at the ending credits that you had a SAG-AFTRA seal
Yeah.
up there, and I was wondering, like, what that process was like with like SAG actors and like all of that.
It was really easy. We did the micro budget, you know, because we're a micro budget.
Yeah, it was easy because it was the micro budget, and
Yes.
you basically kind of don't care as long as you send them the paperwork a few days before, like, I don't know, it has some deadline before you shoot, and they're very hands off. But everything above that, I'll say this to their credit, they assign you a person to work with you, and everyone I've worked with is like lovely and helpful and just the nicest people. But there's a lot of bureaucracy and just weird hang-ups that you have to know financially, and yeah, it's a whole thing.
Anybody else? Over here.
Has directing a project changed now the way you write at all? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I used to be more precious about words, and now I don't give a fuck. I'm like, nobody's gonna, I mean, who's gonna see this? You know, like one word doesn't matter, it's like the sum of all its parts, you know? It's really changed my writing. I'm definitely more to the point. I'm definitely, I mean, now I'm writing in the headspace of what I'm gonna make. So I'm like, oh, I can't set it, I don't set this in a villa, set this in a nice house, you know, that we can find. You know, so it's definitely changed, for sure. And also, thinking about what I can tell the actors really helps. Because in scenes, I'm like, what do they want? Don't beat around the bush. What do they want? Just write that, you know?
Anyone else? Oh, over here?
You said that you used to direct theater.
Yeah.
Do you feel like working with actors, theater and film are really different, or do you come from the same kind of place?
Not really different. I found it was like riding a bike. Just talking to actors, working out objectives and tactics, exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
What was a little bit different was that in film, sometimes you just have to get the shot, and it doesn't matter what the actor is doing. Sometimes it's not about the performance. And that was challenging, because I'm like, how do I tell this actor her motivation when she doesn't need one? She just needs to stand there. Your motivation is don't move because we need the shot to be still because the camera's here. You know, like, you can't tell an actor that. So that was a little bit of an adjustment, but my actors they got it. They're like, oh, so you need it softer, okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but otherwise, it all really carried over in a way that was such a relief.
Great. Okay. Well, round of applause for our ladies up here.
Thank you.